Today, we will talk about 10 sports that were born in Greece. So before we get started, make sure to hit that like button. Also subscribe to my channel. During the early ages, Greeks dominated sporting events and military conquests. The Olympics were also held in Greece. The Greeks performed so well in these events because sports were developed to pass critical military. 1. Pentathlon. Pentathlon is a word of Greek origin formed by combining two words, pent, 5, and athlon, competition. The pentathlon is a competition with 5 different sporting events. Pentathlon events can be traced to ancient Greek Olympic Games in Olympia city-state, where it included the long jump, javelin throw, discus throw, stadium, a series of short races, and a wrestling match as the main event. Because of the extra skills and strength needed for the pentathlon, soldiers comprised the largest number of competitors and winners. However, due to the evolution of the event and the need to make pentathlon less bloody, modern pentathlon is more focused on skills of shooting, swimming, fencing, equestrianism, and a cross-country run. Each of the 5 events gathers different points, and the overall winner is usually the one with the most points. 2. Running. Running is an old sport that does not include contact. In ancient Greek culture, running contests included speed tests of approximately 219 yards, known as the state race, the dialos, which were a 437-yard race, and a longer race called dolichos. During the ancient period, Greeks were good runners. In the modern Olympics, running was the most diversified event with different races, ranging from short races to mid and long races. 3. Jumping. The ancient Greek sport of jumping is what is known as long jump, broad jump, or horizontal jump today. The sport has its roots in the ancient Greek Olympic Games. During ancient Greek periods, athletes used to hold stones or weights in their hands during the jump and release them by pushing them backward towards the end of the flight to propel them forward. The long jump is the only known jumping event in ancient Greece, and most sports in Greek city-states were used as training for combat. The long jump symbolized the ability to cross some form of obstacle. The jump has been a modern Olympic track and field event since 1896, with athletes settling records never since seen in modern times. 4. Discus throw. The discus throw is traced to 708 BC Greek pentathlon activities. The discus was originally made of stone. Iron, lead, and bronze were used as raw materials for the discus during different periods of time in Greece. The Myron statue Discobolus suggests that the sport may have existed from as early as the 5th century BC. The technique used in ancient times is similar to the technique used in freestyle discus throw today. In today's society, the sport is a track and field event that involves throwing a heavy circular disc. 5. Wrestling. Wrestling is one of the oldest combat sports and is loved by millions. Wrestling is a contact sport involving handling techniques like clinches, fighting, takedowns, joint locks, pins, and punches, among others. In ancient Greece, wrestling was used as a competitive sport in the Olympics, as well as entertainment for wealthy people. Today, wrestling techniques have found their way into law enforcement hand-to-hand combat training. During the ancient Olympics, wrestling served as one of the main event sports, and a fight only ended when a contestant admitted defeat or was unable to continue. 6. Boxing. Boxing is a fighting sport between two people who wear protective gloves and punch one another. It takes place in a square ring, and there is a center referee who officiates the contest. The competitor who lands the most punches on the other's face or incapacitates his or her opponent is declared the winner. Boxing as a sport can be traced to the 688 BC. 23rd Olympic Games in Greece. During the ancient Greek times, boxing was one of the most popular games in the Olympics. Boxers wore straps, hemantes, around their hands to protect them. Fighting would go on until one of the fighters acknowledged defeat or could not continue. 7. Pancration. Ancient Greeks believed that Heracles and Theseus developed pancration as a byproduct of having to use boxing and wrestling techniques in their fights. Both men used this skill to overcome mighty adversaries, including beasts. In ancient times, pancration was a primitive combat technique. that combined boxing, wrestling, and choking skills. Introduced into the Greek Olympic Games in 648 BC, this was one of the toughest sports with minimal rules. Pankration, all power, was a submission-only sport, and many fighters died in the arena. 8. Javelin throwing. The javelin throw was among 5 events in the ancient Greek Olympic pentathlon. The competition took place on a running track where the athletes ran a few meters to the starting point and then threw the javelin as far as possible. The wooden javelin was about the height of a man. The difference between the contemporary javelin throw and the ancient technique is that a leather loop was attached to the spot at which the javelin was held. The athlete could then artificially extend the length of the arm by placing 1 or 2 fingers in the loop. 9. Chariot racing. We know that chariot racing began during the Mycenaean period from artistic evidence on pottery, and the chariot race is believed to be the event that started the Olympic Games. According to the ancient Greek poet Pindar, King Oenomaus challenged his daughter's eligible suitors to race against one another. Pelops won the race, and the Olympic Games were born in honor of his victory. Homer's Iliad is the first literary evidence of chariot racing, held at the funeral games of Patroclus. In the ancient Olympic Games, as well as the Pan-Hellenic Games, there were both 4-horse and 2-horse chariot races. Apart from the number of horses used, the rules were the same for both. The sport was first added to the Olympics in 680 BC. 10. Horse racing. Horse races were prominent in ancient Greece and formed an inevitable part of festival celebrations. They were listed under the Olympic Games as equestrian events. The races took place at a hippodrome, which had 2 turning points where most of the accidents occurred. Wealthy people were able to afford the horses which competed in these racing events, and it was the owners who were given the title of victors and not the riders. This gave women an opportunity to win horse racing events without actually having to participate. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comments section below. Before you go, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.